What's up, everybody? Foamy Guy here. Got a quick video for you today where I'm just gonna show you one of the latest little toys that I've created. So one of the things that I have a bit of an on-again, off-again hobbyist level interest in is cryptography, and particularly old cryptography stuff. So one of the classic sort of types of ciphers, one of the sort of classic ways to encode messages is called a book cipher. You can learn all about it here on Wikipedia, and I'm sure there's lots of other great resources as well. But the gist of it boils down to you have a person who you want to communicate with secretly or privately, and you agree upon a book ahead of time. And then instead of sending your message in, clear text in plain English or whatever language you speak, you would instead reference something inside that book. So you would say, maybe send across like a page number and then a paragraph number and a sentence number and a word number, or maybe just like a page number and then a word number or something like that. And then the other person would need to take those numbers, go and look up that page in the agreed upon book, and then find the word, number, whichever one was in the encoded message. So the encoded message basically becomes a bunch of numbers, which effectively point to some other big body of text. So classically, this would be a book that you had agreed upon ahead of time. So that's the very, very high level version. You can learn more about it again on Wikipedia or online if you search around for book ciphers. What I have created, what has been a little bit of a thing in my head for a while is, wouldn't it be interesting if we brought book ciphers into the 21st century with websites, and in particular with a little bit of Lorem Ipsum, which I thought would make an interesting bit of text to use as a book cipher. So I have this web page here. I'm going to show you how it works. On the home page, it actually is a bit of a decoy. It just looks like a sort of coming soon site, right? It just looks like it's under construction. There's nothing really here. But in fact, this web page is hiding a secret. And if we go to /blog, and then we enter any number we want right here. We'll come back to what that number means, but for now we can just put any number here. What we'll see is we actually do get a blog post, but our blog post just has Lorem Ipsum inside of it. So there's no actual content here, just a couple paragraphs of Lorem Ipsum. So to an outsider who didn't know what this site was for, this would probably just look like, again, a site that's under construction that doesn't really have some real content on it yet. But in fact, it is hidden in plain sight, so to speak, and it is the book which we can use in our book cipher in this little toy that I've created. So this is actually the page where you would come to if you were receiving a message. So we will go over to the page where you go if you would like to send a message. So you go /blog/edit, and then the number here. And it's important, the number here needs to match the person sending the message, and the person receiving the message need to use the same number here. So this is a bit like an ID number of the book that you want to use. In fact, if we go back to the blog page, and if we look here, like at the first bit of this Lorem Ipsum here, if we go and change this to a different number, it's going to be different Lorem Ipsum here. And every single number that you type into this, there will be a different set of Lorem Ipsum paragraphs here. So that is why it's important that both the sender and the receiver have the same number here. This is kind of like agreeing upon which Lorem Ipsum book we want to use. So for the sender, again, /blog/edit, we put in the number we want to use here, and it can be longer than this. In fact, you can give it a nice long one. And what you will come to is this page, which again kind of looks like it's half under construction. Sorry, that page was not found. It doesn't really look like there's much here. But in fact, there is more than meets the eye yet again. There is this inconspicuous email subscribe link, right? Who wants to actually subscribe to emails on some random site that's not even set up yet? Probably nobody. So the thing is, this subscribe link is actually part of the deception here. This is actually where we put our message that we want to send. So let's say we had some important message like, please send cookies very important message, then we can just click subscribe and boom, our message is gone and we have now encoded it into our book cipher. But I can hear you asking through the screen, well, if we encoded it, where's it at? And that's a great question. It does not appear to be here anywhere. But in fact, again, there's more than meets the eye. If we highlight down here, we can see now there are a bunch of numbers, and these numbers are, in fact, our encoded message. So you put whatever message you want to encode here, you click subscribe, and then you kind of click and drag your mouse down here in order to highlight the message so that you can then copy it and, of course, send it to, the message recipient along with the ID, or you could, agree upon an ID. Would probably be the best way to do this, to have some, list of on this day I'll send you this ID or whatever. So we've got our message, we've got our ID. I'm going to go back to the receiving side. So, we have now kind of gotten our message. We can send it over to our friend, to let them know that we would like them to send some cookies. And what they can do is they can come to the blog page again. They can use the exact same ID here. It's important that they have the same ID. They can just dump those numbers right into the subscribe box again down here. Click the button, and again, nothing happens. But yet again, in fact, something did happen, and we now have at the bottom, which we can highlight, the clear text of our message. So we encode it. They can take the numbers. They can put them in the subscribe. Don't know why I can't keep it highlighted for some reason. It wants to always go away, I guess, when I hover the box. Anyway, so they can dump the numbers into there. They can click subscribe, and they can get the clear text of the message here. So that's all for this one. I just wanted to show you that. I will probably make a video in the future diving into the code that does this. There's some Python code that does the encoding, and then of course there's obviously an HTML front end here that does some of the decoding and sending to the back end in order to encode. So if you are interested in that, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, let me know that that's something that you are interested in. Otherwise, I will bid you farewell for now. Hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you later.